Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lay. For those of you who are new, welcome. If you are new to my channel, this is my baby Callie. Callie, say hi. Hi. Yeah. So Callie is my daughter. She is 18 months old and nearly impossible to keep quiet and to get her to sit down. It just doesn't happen. Today's video is going to be a review and a demo, clearly, on the Morphe and James Charles palette. Yay! So, quick backstory. I did this look twice. I don't know. I'm such a perfectionist, and I was trying another technique, and let's just say that was a technique that just was not working for my eyes. Like, it just wasn't working. So I decided to go back to what I know, and even though this is a style of makeup that I don't usually do, I am absolutely loving how it came out. This is, again, using the Morphe and James Charles palette, and yeah. But before we get into the review, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and then hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time that your girl does an upload. Now, if you want to see the review and the demo on this eye look, please make sure to stay tuned and keep watching. Alright, so James Charles palette. Let's start with the way it looks. This palette is huge, guys. Like this, it's going to change my lighting real quick. But yeah, this is the palette. Oh my gosh, like it's ginormous. This is it. Like, that's my whole face. If you scroll through some of my looks, you'll see that I am no stranger to color. Not at all. I absolutely love using bright, colorful eyeshadows. I love, oh my god, the Urban Decay Electric palette is my jam, okay? And the only reason I don't use it as often is because it was limited edition, so everybody can't buy it anymore. And then so then I turned around and I started recommending the Morphe 35B palette, and then Morphe, they're gonna go turn around and discontinue that as well. I was like, hey, what am I supposed to use? So I don't know if the James Charles palette is replacing the 35B palette, but I do know that for right now, you can get this. So not only is this a 35B alternative, but what I really like about this palette is, I can't open it, is that aside from having all of the colorful eyeshadows, it has a bunch of neutral tone eyeshadows. So if you are not into, if you're into color but you're scared of color, it has the neutral tones for you. So you can go either which way. You can go super duper neutral, or you can go super duper colorful, or if you're just the average chick, you can do both. You can do your neutral eyes with a pop of color. So it comes with that little insert, which I'm going to glue to the top, and let's talk about the packaging. I like the way this looks. I actually just recently threw away the box. I used to keep them, but I noticed that they were taking up a lot of space, and I'm not the one who created it, so it's really not doing anything for me. It's just pretty. So I had asked if y'all wanted one of these in our giveaways, but y'all said no. So I guess I'm just going to have this too. I guess I'm just going to have this for myself. Anywho, if you are looking for a palette with a lot of colors and neutrals, I think this is a good palette. And Morphe has a pretty good formula. The controversy that Morphe faces, in my opinion, is due to the fact that all of their influencers get all of their stuff for PR. And I'm not saying that that's a negative. Like, you worked hard to get to where you were. Boom, I get it. But they're the only ones that seem to be doing these reviews most of the time. And all of the reviews are usually positive. Even their negatives aren't that negative. I'm not one to put up a negative review just so that I could get the clicks, but I mean, if a product is bad, I think you should be able to say it and not worry about being blackballed, you know what I mean? Well, for me, I'm not affiliated. I don't even have that many subscribers. You're one of my loyal subscribers. I highly suggest it. I like it. And I like it because I like color. So if you like color and that's like the road you want to go down, I highly suggest it. I do think that it's a good investment, especially if you don't have the Urban Decay Electric or the 35B. A nice colorful palette that has color. And like the color that I really want to play with is that red. Y'all know. Y'all know. And sorry if you can hear Callie. She's literally right here. All right, so let's just get right into the demo. Alright, so I already have one eye prepped and ready to go, and then the other eye I did already. So that's pretty much the base of what it's going to look like. And here is the Morphe and James Charles palette. I absolutely love the packaging, as I've stated, and isn't the inside beautiful? Isn't she lovely? Okay, so to start off, I'm going to go in with this shade, which is called Punch Me. This is like a yellow tone brown, which I love so much. This is like the epitome of the perfect transition shade for me. It's a nice neutral tone, not too warm, not too cool, at least against my skin tone, and it serves as a great transition color. So the next shade I'm going to use is Brother. This is that deep blue shade. They have two deep blues. There's this one and Cola, and Cola is just slightly deeper. And I did use a little bit of that to help deepen this even more. But you want to start by using a pencil brush. You want to use a pencil brush that is a little more fluffy, and you want to pretty much carve out the shape of the eyeshadow that you want. So I'm going above my eyeball where that dip would be, and I'm just deepening that color right there. And then I'm bringing it out and extending it to the end of my eyebrow. You want to go over this step a couple of times because as you blend, you are going to lose color. I am doing some tapping motions to get the color there, and then I'm doing some windshield wiper motions to spread it out. And now to cut my crease, I'm using this Makeup Forever HD concealer. The reason I'm using this is because it is easier to work with than to use like my soft ochre, which honestly I should have used my soft ochre, but I didn't. For some reason, and James Charles actually addressed this on his page, his eyeshadows don't really work well with concealer. It needs more of a tacky base. I did try to wait until this concealer dried, but I mean, it's still, you know, it's still concealer, so it is a little bit wet. Like if you put concealer under your eyes, regardless of how long it's there, you're gonna have to set it at some point. So right here, I'm just, you know, smoothing it out, making it as thin as possible just so that it's not too wet. And then on top of that area, I'm going to take the shade Spooky, and I'm just going to pretty much go along that line so that it's deepened right there in that crease area. And then we're going back in and we're going to blend in more of that shade. So now I'm taking the shade Playground, which is this really pretty aqua blue, and this is where like you can tell that it doesn't work well with concealer. As you can see on the corner where I initially placed the product, it's holding on to more of that powder. Now I'm sure that if I added another layer, because at this point with the blue, that concealer is now set, so if I added another layer of blue, it won't be patchy. But honestly, I didn't want this to be a matte look, like an all matte cut crease. So what I did was I went over that line again, but I took the shade Hello and I placed that on the eyeball area only. So the inner and the outer tail of the eyeshadow is still going to be the shade Playground, but the eyeball area is the shade Hello. And having that blue shade underneath really helps to make this color pop and stand out, and I really like the way it looks now. And then of course you're going to go right in with your eyeliner. So I use the Inglot Gel number 77. It's my favorite. Now right here I'm actually cleaning up around the edges, and then I'm going to sharpen the wing, which I should have done after I did my liner, just because I wouldn't have to keep like tugging on my skin in that way. But I like for this line to be like extremely crisp and very, you know, straight. So right here, I'm just speeding through. I'm doing my wing liner just the way that I normally do. I'm still trying to perfect my line. Like, I like a really pointed line, but all of that comes with practice and time. But right here, I'm just doing a thin line across my eyelid, and then I'm making my liner pretty thick. I do this often, and I don't know, I just feel like I don't have a really big like lid space, so I don't really like my eyeliner to be too thick. And then again with the baby wipe, I'm going to go ahead and clean up the edges. This is why I like to do my foundation last, because I like for things to be nice and crisp. So now we're going to coat our lashes using the Maybelline Big Lash Mascara. This is in the shade Black. This is an oldie but a goodie, probably one of my favorite mascaras. And then for lashes, I'm using the Koko lashes in the style SoHo. And this is what they look like. The glue is still drying, but I love this lash because you can see through it, but it's still big enough and dramatic. So right here, I'm using these Marc Jacobs eyeliners. You all know this is probably one of my favorite eyeliner bases, and I use the shade Odyssey. And then I moved on to my face. I didn't want to add eyeshadow underneath my eyes until, you know, I was completely done. So I'm using the Too Faced Coconut Hangover Primer, which is my favorite primer of all time. And I'm using this Juno sponge, which I love so much. So I'm trying this Makeup Revolution thing again. I went ahead and bought F13 or F12. So this is F12, and then the other one, no, this is F13. Sorry, this is F13, and then the other one was F12. So this is the color difference. Like, what a jump. I was so disappointed because I was like, these are two completely different colors, and for me, I'm definitely in the middle. I'm a color somewhere in between there, but so I had to mix these two colors just so that I'm sure that, you know, it's not my pigment that I add to lighter foundations that is making me like not really care for this foundation. And it's definitely, let's just say it's not the best foundation, especially like for the price. Like I have to pay $24 to get two, and y'all don't even have my complexion, so I don't know. The part that I hate is that I love the concealer. So this is the concealer, and this is in the shade C12, and like I said, I love this concealer. I love it so much, and I think that's why I get so disappointed with that I'm like not crazy about the foundation. Anyway, whatever. So to set under my eyes, I'm going to be using the Maybelline, I think this is their matte loose powder. It's not the Fit Me powder. They have a like loose matte setting powder, and this is in the shade medium. They have medium, and then they have like light, and technically it's a translucent, but the one that is medium just has like a little bit of a tint to it, but it's not like white. So yeah, so I'm just gonna dust that away, and then we're gonna move on to, surprisingly, my lips. Oh no, I lied. We're going back to underneath my eyes. So I'm just going in with that shade Brother and smoking it out. So I just want to make sure that I dust away all of that powder, and then I'm going to spray my face with Mario Badescu. And this just helps to have all those powders set together. Now, since I didn't know what I wanted to do, yes, I'm a bougie fan, since I didn't know what I wanted to do as far as my blush and stuff went, after I coated my lower lash line, I went in with my lips. So the two that I had to choose from was between MAC Stone, which is a gorgeous color, but I just think that because of the way the eye looked, it was just a little too deep for me, so I wanted to go a little lighter. So I went in with this MAC Retro Matte liquid lipstick, and the name of this will be in the description box, but it's pretty much like Stone had milk poured into it, so it looks like chocolate milk. Then I'm going to move on to my face, and I'm going to add this Fantabulous Morphe blush, not blush, it's a bronzer, and I absolutely love this powder so much. It's so pretty. And then for blush, I'm using the Too Faced Justify My Love Flush, and this is more of like a blue tone pink, which is why I used it, because of my eyes. And then, like, as you can see, the lips are drying down and they look so pretty. And then I'm going in with the Fenty Beauty Killawatt in the shade Hustla Baby, and I'm going to place that on the high points of my cheeks for my highlight. And yes'm. I think that looks good. And look at the lips, they're starting to dry down. I did line them with brown lip liner. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please